Welcome to Australian Patriot Radio, podcasting on the internet near you. Our web address is www.australianpatriotradio.com. And I'm Harry Palmer.
Welcome to AusChat with your hosts Harry Palmer and Mike Holt for Australian Patriot Radio.
Well, good morning, Mike. We've just passed out through Australia Day and we're standing here knee-deep in the public holiday. And what did you think of the awards that were handed out for Australia Day?
To be honest with you, I didn't take much notice of them.
I think you've covered it perfectly. Sounds good to me. Yeah.
They didn't give me one, so
every year I look at it, I think, where do they find these people from? You know, Amanda Vanstone. I mean, seriously?
Who's she? Yes. Okay. Well, no, I didn't see that. Don't care. Not worried about it.
No, I wasn't either. It was just
actually,
one of those things.
Australia Day today, this time was very quiet. My wife and I went down the beach and sat on the sand for a couple of hours, and we came home and she went to sleep on the bed for about 2 hours, and I sat there and just surfed the web and did nothing.
Yeah.
But what I did do, a couple of things. I did write an article yesterday called The Constitution Explained. Now, this is a first in the series of articles that I'm writing about the Constitution, trying to simplify it. I ended up with about 7 pages of writing.
I was going to say, there's a difficult job before you start.
Yeah. But basically what I've done here is I've started out by talking about common law, because that's the basis of our Constitution. And if people don't understand what common law is, we hear it all the time, but what the heck is it? So I went into a fair bit of discussion on common law first, and I have to admit I took the information out of a book by Kevin Annett. So anybody who's been listening to our podcast will know who Kevin Annett is. He's an activist from Canada who's been, well, he's a common law expert and very interesting chap, very good man. And he's written a book called Establishing the Reign of Natural Liberty, a Common Law Training Manual, issued by the International Common Law Court of Justice. Now, what we're doing here at Advance Australia is we've now, through our association with Kevin, we are now associated also with the International Common Law Court of Justice, which means that when we start doing the grand juries and the common law courts, we'll have the backing of the International Court as well, which goes back to where is it, in Belgium?
Belgium, that's right. That's exactly what they are. Yep.
The International Crime Commission or whatever it is over there. So in this article about the Constitution, I explained what common law is, and then I go on to what is a constitution and why is it important. Because most people, if they have even read the Constitution, which many Australians haven't, they read it, but they don't really understand what it's all about. So in this article, what I've done is I've tried to simplify things down a little bit, and I've added in, I've highlighted things like the important sections in the Commonwealth Constitution Act, for instance, Section 106, which states that state constitutions are subordinate to the Commonwealth of Australia Constitution Act 1901. In other words, state constitution laws must always conform or be in accord with the federal constitution, which is the highest law of the land.
Which takes preference,
Yeah. And Section 107, it reiterates this by saying state parliaments under their constitutions can still make laws as long as they are not exclusive to the Commonwealth Parliament example, the Commonwealth Parliament constitution. For example, they cannot print money and they cannot have armed forces.
Yeah, that's
so
right.
Why is Victoria and all these other state police now being armed like a military? They can't do it.
Well, there you go. I mean, how come they're allowed to wear Kevlar vests and we're not?
That's right.
And they can't protect us on the streets now, so that's rather... Here's a good one, Mike. Try this one on for size, which a friend of mine said to me yesterday. He said, is there any chances of me getting training by the police on how to use a mobile phone in my car like they do?
Yeah, I think I saw that one. Yeah.
Well, that's a damn good question, you know. Yeah.
Yes,
What training do they have to allow them to use mobile phones in the car? We'd like to have the same.
But they have the law on their side.
No, forget the law. I mean, it just, how could it be a difference? How could they not cause an accident just because they're police officers with a mobile phone, but we can?
That's right. So either the government is lying to us or the police are breaking the law. And if that's the case...
Well, I can't believe either of those.
Oh, well, really?
All right, well, let's hop into it, Mike.
I think you better have a cup of coffee, mate. I've just made one that's so strong the hairs on my chest stood up on end.
Like the Turks have, eh?
Yeah. No, but if I was just going to say, if anybody sees anybody, never mind whether they're police or not, anyone breaking the law, we have not only a right but a duty to citizens arrest them and march them down to a police station straight away to get arrested properly. Okay, getting back to the Constitution, the next important section, so they go to 106, 107, 108. 108 is colonies on becoming states. Their laws within the power of the Parliament of the Commonwealth are subject to this Constitution, can still be changed by the state parliaments, provided they conform with the federal Constitution. And Section 109 states, when a law of a state is inconsistent with a law of the Commonwealth, the latter shall prevail, that is the law of the Commonwealth, and the former, the state law, shall be, to the extent of the inconsistency, be invalid. Now, this applies particularly to RBT stops because there have been 2 High Court decisions plus a magistrate's decision, all stating that the police have absolutely no right to stop us while we're going about our lawful business to try and detect a crime. They haven't got that right. So I now carry around a piece of paper stating these facts, which you can get off my CIR Now website under the article Police Powers and You. And you should print this out and carry it in your car at all times. So when you're stopped for an RBT, just lock all the doors, wind up all the windows and wind down your driver's window just enough to be able to communicate through, and hand this piece of paper to the policeman and say, I will comply under duress, but first please read this piece of paper, which then explains the law to the cop. Now, if he continues, he is breaking the law. And you then have every right, stay in your car, don't try and get out because they'll confront you and arrest you. You have every right then to say, I am now arresting you for breaking the law under such and such law, and give me your details. And they have to supply you their badge number, name, and other details. So we can then arrest them for breaking the law. You start doing that, imagine what that's going to do.
I can't even imagine them letting it happen.
Well, it's time that we do, because we, the people, under common law, must arrest somebody who we see breaking the law. It's that is the law. Yeah. And that's the highest law of the land. And if we start doing this, we will call these people to account. But if we just say, oh, it's too much trouble, well, then you deserve everything you get, you idiots. No, you've got to stand up and start calling these people to account for themselves.
Yes,
they do not have these rights. Anyway, I go into a lot of detail in this article about the history of the Parliament, and then we talk about the various sections of the Constitution. And the first section is Chapter 1, the Parliament. And it discusses what goes on in Parliament and how it works. It also talks about, there's a very good image there of when you can no longer tell the difference between police and military units, it's no longer about law enforcement, it's about subjugation. And I have a picture of highly armed police there.
Well, I think the Lint Cafe showed us how efficient they are.
Yeah, didn't it? What? They should be ashamed of themselves. Yeah. But also, did you see the video on YouTube of the chap down in Melbourne the day before getting arrested for wearing the Australian flag? And not only that, the cops, to add insult to injury, ripped the flag off him, trampled it on the ground, bundled it up, and threw it into a bag instead of treating it with the respect and reverence it deserves. So who were the criminals there? And what the heck would they arrest him for, and what would they charge him with?
Well, you are wearing talking a flag? About the Victorian police, you know?
We are, yes. The communist Victorian police, because they are now a communist state.
Yep.
And I feel sorry for the people living in Victoria, but you've let this happen.
Oh,
now
they
it's
have.
Up to you.
We all let it
stand
happen.
Up
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, these people wouldn't have power if we didn't put them in, and that's what it's all about. And people just don't care now. Anyhow, we're marching along. We're running out of time.
Yes, we are. We're getting a lot of people calling in and getting involved in what we're doing.
Which is good. We're getting plenty on APR here signing up, which is good to see, and messages passing through, which, of course, I'm forwarding down to you as well.
Absolutely. For anybody listening on the Sunshine Coast, Brisbane, and up further north or out west, anywhere close to drive to the Sunshine Coast, you are invited to a Sunshine Coast Advanced Australia monthly meeting. The date is Sunday, February the 2nd. That's the next weekend at 2 p.m. It will be held at the Bly Public Hall. That's at 87 Willis Road, Bly, Queensland 4560. And we will be discussing the Constitution, common law, and other topics related to the constitutional crisis we are currently facing. So this is a good opportunity for listeners to come along to these meetings and start meeting like-minded people and learning about our rights and freedoms. And you're all welcome to come, and please bring a friend or other family members along. The more people who come, the faster the information will get out. We do ask for a gold coin donation because we have to pay for the hall, but you're not obligated to pay. And if you want to confirm by email, please write to Edith Cragg, that's EDITHCRAGG @bigpond.com. So perhaps you could put that invitation up on the podcast too, please, mate.
Yep, all right. Well, if you just send me the details, this time to me, send me an email and I'll just whack them straight up there.
Yeah, no worries.
All right.
Yes. Anything else you want to talk about, mate?
Well, I just thought we might have a chat about the coronavirus, mate. I mean, goodness me. I mean, I think Australia's been just right behind, how do you put it, the gates open, closed, and closed 3 or 4 times before they realised there was a gate.
Well, first of all, you remember back in the 50s and 60s and even into the 70s, Australia was very, very stringent with who they let into the country.
Oh,
and if you had any kind of illness, you were quarantined.
Yes.
Why isn't the government doing that today?
Well, let's face it, the boat people came in here, and how much medical situations would have been validated there? I mean, even ASIO said they're just pouring them through here like a sausage machine. We can't even do their background checks. What sort of medical checks were they doing?
Oh, none.
But, I mean, the thing is, we don't know. The incubating period of this virus seems to change as the newspaper changes each day.
Yeah, I know.
But, I mean, it's definitely a serious problem, that's for sure.
Yeah, indeed.
But, of course, the big worry about the whole of the virus is the fact that it's involving the government. There in itself is a problem.
Yep. Never mind. We do what we can, and we're asking people to demand that the government close our borders immediately and screen everybody carefully. Because there are literally hundreds of thousands of people dying in China right now. I believe the last count, although the media won't confirm this, there were 6 cities in China have been quarantined, shut down. People cannot go in or out. People are starving to death because they can't get food off the shelves.
Yeah.
It's a disaster of mammoth proportions.
Yeah.
And it's already at least 2 or 3 cases in Australia. Yeah. What is the government doing?
And they say it starts at least sometimes 14 days was the last one I read, but could have changed for that. 14 days before you see the symptoms.
That's right. Yeah, so
that's deadly in itself, not being able to pick up the symptoms. And, of course, it immediately starts spreading. Goes into your throat, and then from your throat it goes down and starts affecting the organs.
Oh, lovely. Dear me.
It just mutates and away it goes. Yeah.
Oh.
Anyhow, we'll just have to see how it goes. But to think our lives rely on the government, I mean, we've got the cops out there that can't control the gun battles in the streets, and now we've got the government handling the medical situation. I think we might have to go to Mars for the week, I think, mate. That's what
Well, I don't go out much these days. I don't want to.
There's no reason for me to go out. Yeah. Oh, I know I had a good bit of news for you. Goodness me. Steve Johnson, a good activist. Yeah, from Perth, mate. He's coming on the team.
Fantastic.
It'll be just wonderful. Yeah, yep. So he's going to start this week. Yeah.
You better tell people who Steve Johnson is.
We'll just keep it close. We do the intro on it.
Okay.
But he's a very good activist in Western Australia. He produces audio, videos, podcasts, and videos as well. And he calls a shovel a front-end loader.
A bit like you and me, mate.
Yeah, I think he's more refined than we are, but he hits like a sledgehammer.
Yeah, good. Oh, well, I'm looking forward to that. Yeah, that'll be fun.
Yeah.
Yes. I mean, our discussions are interesting enough.
Yeah, that's right. What else did you have to say?
I'd like to make a call out to a chap who's been sending me some very powerful letters that he's been writing to politicians. His name is William Barrow, and he's on the Council of Elders of Torres Strait Islanders.
Oh, right. Yes.
And William is an amazing fella, and you should go to his YouTube channel and just look for William Barrow, B-E-R-O. And he just put up a very good video about land titles. But this man knows the law, he knows common law, he knows the Constitution, he knows about our rights. So, William, if you're listening, I'd love to talk to you. I've been trying to call you, but the numbers I have don't seem to work. So, you know my phone number. It's on the end of my emails. You've been emailing me. Please give me a call. Love to hear from you. And also another call out to another guy who's doing fantastic work is Liabilitymate.
Oh, yes. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Oh, he's producing some great videos, doing great
work. we only put our production up and within half an hour or an hour or so, he's got the damn thing done.
I know. He's very efficient.
Yeah. And it's up there on YouTube with the graphics and everything. Yeah.
Yeah. Liabilitymate, please give me a call. You've got my number too, so would love to talk to you, and I'm pretty sure we've got a lot to discuss and other ways to work together.
Yeah, and thanks very much for what you're doing up on YouTube for us. It's spreading the word really well.
And one more, tottnews.com. Now, I just found this website today, but boy, oh boy, it's a ripper. And I don't know who these guys are. I see they're associated with Aussie Beach TV, who I used to work with before.
Yeah.
I guess they're back online and going. I haven't spoken to him for a long time, but he was always doing good work. But tottnews.com. Go and check that one out. And there's some really good cartoons on there. I love a bit of humour.
Oh, me too. Yeah. It's something I hunted for years to try and get a good cartoonist to help me out with SOS News. And I never really ever found one, but they're an asset and a half to have a cartoonist.
Do you know the name Steve Hunter?
Not that I know of, no.
All right. Well, he's the cartoonist on this website, and he's very good.
Oh, right. Well, that's no longer published now, SOS News. Yeah.
No, TOTT News. Oh, you're yours, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, right. Yeah, but well worth, people are always asking for more information. Well, these sites and these YouTube channels, etc., that we're recommending are very, very good.
Yeah.
Well worth visiting. And,
Yeah,
of course, if you've got any questions and you want to know what's going on, then please just give us
email us. Yeah,
email us.
We send them across, and they pass between each of us and all that. And once again, of course, Liabilitymate, thank you very much up there at YouTube.
Liabilitymate.
Liability, sorry. What did I say?
Yeah, you said Liabilitymate. But anyway,
liability.
Probably very true, actually.
Yeah,
he's a good one.
Yeah,
definitely.
All right, Mike. Well, we'll cross over again next week, and bring some more revelations to the people. But by goodness, there's some stuff in the tubes just waiting to be sort of sorted out at the moment. I've got a couple of whistleblowers that have come in which have just opened my eyes. I'm shaking my head as to, I'll just give you a couple of little key words. This has come to me from two different sources, that the national parks restricted the air bombers going in and getting water from the ocean in several places, right? Because of contamination might go to the environment.
Yeah, I heard that.
Yeah.
Heard that. Terrible.
That's disgusting.
So like you, I've got a few things coming up in the tubes, as you say. But I just want to shout out to all our listeners. I hope you are still enjoying a very good and safe Australia Day. Stay safe. Australia needs you. Don't do anything silly.
Yeah.
And we look forward to helping to expand your range of knowledge in the future.
That's right. And let's see if we can get it back.
Yeah. Absolutely.
All right. Catch you next week, Mike.
All right, mate. Cheers.
Okay, bye. Well, that's it for me here today. Podcasting on the internet near you from Australian Patriot Radio. And remember, if you play by the opponent's rules, you will lose. I'm Harry Palmer.